Jimmy Carter turned 100 years old today, and in his honor, the nonprofit Trees Atlanta is launching a project to plant 100 trees in his honor. Atlanta News First reporter Sawyer Bussey was there as the first trees went into the ground.
The president I know best is President Carter.
I knew he would make it to the 100. I'm so excited.
100 trees for 100 years.
And President Carter is a big tree fan. We've been working at the Carter Center for about 20 plus years, helping out here and there. He loves his trees, and we really thought it would be a nice way to honor him.
And not just any tree.
Also planting Georgia's the official tree of Georgia, which is a live oak.
The 100 trees will be planted right here at the Carter Center by Trees Atlanta.
Trees Atlanta is a nonprofit organization that plants, protects, and educates people about the importance of trees.
It's not only really a strong effort, but the end product you'll see for years later.
Most of the work is done by volunteers.
Each tree is going to symbolize a year of his life. And I think it also symbolizes, how people can do so, all people can come together to do positive things very easily, like planting a tree. And President Carter did so much throughout his life to make the world better, and planting trees makes the world better, makes the state better, makes the city better.
Trees Atlanta has partnered with the Carter Center for decades.
From a young age, when he grew up on a farm, he understood nature and understood the meaning of the environment and what it meant to be outside and do outdoor things, but also soak in and protect our air, our grounds, and our lives.
The trees will be planted by March. At the Carter Center, Sawyer Bussey, Atlanta News First.